So I think that she's actually putting the biggest front she can, but it's sickening, isn't it?
The time has finally come when even Prince Harry couldn't hide his frustration with Meghan Markle any longer, and it all went down to the 2025 Invictus Games. For years, they've sold the world a carefully curated love story, standing together, unshakable. But this time, the cracks were impossible to ignore. Meghan, as always, was in full performance mode, trying to convince the cameras that their romance is picture perfect. But Harry wasn't having it. His face said it all. Frustration, exhaustion, maybe even a little bit of regret. And the cameras, ooh, they caught every moment. From Meghan's over-the-top displays of affection to moments of visible tension when she thought the cameras weren't rolling, this event might have revealed more about their marriage than they ever intended. So, what exactly happened? And what did Harry do that left Meghan completely humiliated? Let's find out. But first, a quick refresher for anybody who might not know. The Invictus Games isn't just any event, it's an international multi-sport competition founded by Prince Harry himself. This is meant to give wounded, injured, and sick service personnel, both active duty and veterans, a sense of purpose, motivation, and confidence through sport. It's about resilience, honor, and community. But this year, the focus wasn't where it should have been, because Meghan Markle had other priorities. Instead of uplifting the athletes and their inspiring stories, Meghan turned the event into her own personal PR circus. With her new shiny Instagram account now flaunting over 1.7 million followers, it was clear that she was more interested in content creation than actually honoring the competitors. And trust me, y'all, she didn't even try to hide it. From the moment she arrived at the Invictus Games, it was clear that she wasn't there for the games, she was there for the camera. I mean, come on. You walk in with a glowing smile and her signature confidence, she was all about the cameras. Body language experts were quick to point it out too. She was holding on to Harry, touching his arm, smiling for the world to see, and making sure everybody knew they were a united front. But here's the problem, Harry wasn't exactly reciprocating. Observers noted that while Meghan was doing her best to project an image of unity, Harry looked stiff, detached, even uncomfortable at times. When she leaned in for a kiss, he barely reacted, and when she attempted to hold his hand, there were moments where he subtly pulled away. It's kind of like watching Trump and Melania. Anyway, it seemed kind of like a Cold War, with Meghan trying to warm up to Harry, but Harry shutting her down completely. Body language expert Judy James commented on the strange dynamic, saying that Meghan was steering the narrative while Harry's expressions hinted at something deeper: exhaustion, frustration, or even possibly resentment. She clung to Harry's arm, leaning in towards him like a fart and clutching his hand in an ownership gesture that seemed to unnecessarily let everybody, including Trump, know he's all mine. Judy also pointed out that her body language looked somewhere between a teenager on a date night and a proud mom at a school open night. But the real jaw-dropper that had the people talking was a tense exchange between Harry and Meghan that wasn't meant for public eyes or ears. Multiple witnesses claimed that Meghan, assuming the cameras weren't on them, had a sharp go at Harry over something seemingly trivial, probably his lack of enthusiasm in keeping up with her picture-perfect act. And while there's no official audio, lip readers suggest that she was chastising him over it.
Look at this from Dormois, where you can see Meghan unable to hide her fury with her husband when she didn't think the cameras were on.
But Harry's response to all that ranting was a blunt, fed-up dismissal. No forced smiles, no damage control, just raw frustration. And naturally, the cameras caught every second of it. Royal expert Angela Levin noted that Harry seemed increasingly checked out during public engagements, suggesting his patience with Meghan's PR-driven behavior might be wearing thin. Angela also claimed that Meghan has been in full meltdown mode behind closed doors, crying and begging Harry not to leave her. Seems like she's starting to realize that the fairy tale she tried so hard to sell is slipping through her fingers. Commenting on Meghan's overly exaggerated actions during the Invictus Games, Angela said that it was pathetic and just a drama for the cameras.
How she thinks that we believe that it's all true, because it's absolutely not. I mean, I feel she's hot and cold, isn't she? 1 minute she's furious, she's got that absolutely disgusting face where she wants to kill you, and the other one is that she adores him, and the language that she uses, has used on the Invictus Games, is laughable. I mean, it's just ridiculous and nonsense.
Despite Harry's reluctance, Meghan continued to perform for the cameras. She cheered exaggeratedly, threw dramatic glances in his direction, and clapped just a little too hard whenever he was near. But the most painfully awkward moment? When Meghan leaned in for a kiss on the cheek in front of a packed stadium, and Harry barely turned his head. Hoya! The cameras caught it all, and the clip went viral in no time. Fans were quick to clock Harry's sheer discomfort, with some comparing it to their past interactions, where Meghan pours on the affection and Harry looks like he'd rather be anywhere else.
I mean, a woman of that age who's been married for nearly 7 years shouldn't be sort of, kissing him on the face and stroking his neck, and actually, this one, holding his face on either side so he can't move. It's absolutely pathetic.
And then came the throwbacks. Yeah, people dug into that infamous 2022 Invictus Games moment. You know, the one where Meghan clung to his hand so tightly that his knuckles turned white? Looks like history's got a funny way of repeating itself, don't it? Now, it's no secret that Meghan's been scrambling to fix her public image, with the flop after flippity flop. From archetypes getting the axe to her Netflix lifestyle show getting shelved, she's desperate for a win. And the Invictus Games proved to be a perfect stage for that. It was a golden opportunity to play the doting wife while Harry basked in the spotlight. But here's the problem. When the person you're trying to sell that fairy tale with isn't playing along, the whole thing falls apart, and that's exactly what happened. Instead of a picture-perfect royal love story, audiences saw what looked like a forced performance, with Harry visibly over it. Royal commentator Richard Fitzwilliams pointed out that Meghan's actions were strategic and likely aimed at manipulating public favor. But with Harry clearly not playing along, the whole thing backfired. What makes this whole situation even worse for Meghan is that Harry wasn't ignoring everybody but just her. Throughout the games, he was animated, engaged, and passionate when interacting with the athletes and attendees. When speaking about the Invictus participants, his eyes lit up. But when Meghan tried to insert herself into the moment and practically spray him with her female cat musk, his energy shifted, drawing a grim expression. Observers noted that Harry was far more at ease when Meghan wasn't around. This wasn't a case of Harry being generally disengaged. He was just disengaged from her. And here's the kicker. The real punchline came when Meghan made her swift exit from the games. While Harry stuck around to keep supporting the event, Meghan packed her bags and rushed back to California. They tried to play it off, saying that she had to leave early to be with the kids. Come on, she'd been hyping up her involvement like it was the Oscars, and her sudden exit definitely raised some eyebrows. Now, some think that she bailed to dodge the bad press, realizing the public wasn't buying her act. Others say that Harry might have wanted some distance, or maybe even had enough of her show. Whatever the reason, that early exit only made things look even worse. So, what does this all mean for Harry and Meghan's relationship? Well, one thing is clear. Harry's no longer willing to play along with Meghan's carefully curated public persona. His frustration was visible, and Meghan's attempts to force a fairy tale image only made things worse. With their brand already struggling, this latest public misstep could be yet another crack in the foundation. And if Harry's demeanor at the Invictus Games is any indication, he might just be reaching his breaking point. So, what you think? Is this just another bump in the road, or are we witnessing the unraveling of Harry and Meghan's carefully constructed image? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.